I really like this cover page. I don't know if I want to have this as thumbnail or not. I mean, it's great. I mean, I want it. But I feel like there's other things I could have as a thumbnail from this chapter. But, oh my god, this is a really good cover page. I love the black and white. And just, you know, once again, referencing the checkerboard pattern, how Ishida constantly uses that. I love the way, you know, Furuta's face is on the top of it and all that. And then you don't see his other eye, and you see, like, graffiti all around or whatever, what I'm assuming is graffiti. And it's a really nice fucking cover page. I just love the coloring of it and all that. And, damn, Ishida, just, you always do some really quality cover pages and stuff. So, let's talk about what is said here on, you know, this first, you know, page, you know, the cover page. So, it says, you're going to continue on living, question mark, but you've never even experienced death. Now, obviously, this entire, you know, sentence right here, it references what happens later on in the chapter with Kaneki and Sato, and how pretty much Kaneki, he's supposedly dead, according to CCG and the entire internet and all that. Apparently, he's dead, but we know Kaneki isn't, and because of this, it's like, how can I be dead when I've never experienced death? And it's also kind of a play on what Kaneki's been through throughout the entire series, and also how Kaneki's able to accept everything that's happening in this chapter because of what he has been through. So let's kind of talk about that for a second, okay? So, Kaneki, as we know, he's a character that has constantly reinvented himself, restructured his entire personality multiple times to get to where he's at right now in this chapter and in the series. And when he says, like, I've been through a lot of near-death experiences and I've pretty much died a lot, he's pretty much saying his personality, his self, his previous self has died. And that's very accurate. Kaneki has died. He's went through a lot of changes. His previous selves have died to form what he is now. And so, when you actually see this sentence, but also see what Kaneki says, it, you know, goes together, like there's correlation with each other. But also, I just love how it says, how can you continue on living if you've never experienced death? But Kaneki technically has experienced death. So, yeah, it's a very symbolic meaning when you think about it and what death might mean, too, towards, you know, maybe Kaneki. I mean, he necessarily didn't die, but, I mean, overall, his previous selves did die. So, once again, some symbolic meaning with, you know, this cover page of Tokyo Ghoul. But anyways, though, what's up, my fellow Chibits? Today, I'm here to bring all of you the weekly manga chapter review of Tokyo Ghoul Re Chapter 118. Now, once again, I'm not going to be doing a live reaction this week because, you know, many of you have been begging me constantly to be doing, you know, some reviews and stuff, and that's what I'm going to be giving you, and I just don't have the time to do both videos, so I'd rather focus on the review than do a live reaction. Even though live reactions are a hell of a lot easier, I'm not even going to lie, they're a hell of a lot easier because I don't really need to look into the chapter too deep. I still want to give you guys these videos because I love talking about Tokyo Ghoul and diving into it. It's very fun to do. And so, yeah, it's just going to be a review this week. I'm sorry. I know some of you do want live reactions. Maybe I eventually can figure out a way to do a live reaction and a review, try to fit that into my schedule. But for now, though, it's just going to be a review this week. So, as always, I don't know if I should say it because it's pretty much a meme by this point, but I want to try. I'm not going to promise. I want to try to see if I can keep this video under 30 minutes. I don't know if it will or not, because I've already spent a lot of time already talking about the cover page, but I want to try. I don't know if that's going to happen. I don't promise anything, but I'll try. So yeah, let's start off with this chapter. So I guess you could say first page or maybe second page, whatever. We continue on with what Furuta was doing in last week's chapter, which had the party glasses and stuff. That shit's still fucking great. That is still just a wonderful freaking panel. Like, Ishida, you're a good man for that. But okay, so let's, you know, analyze this first page. So, you know, Furuta, he comes on the stage and all that. You know, he's the new leader of CCG. And you have all of these new recruits or, you know, CCG agents that aren't really the best of the best. And they're all looking at Furuta like, what the fuck you doing? Like, their face just has so much anger or they're annoyed or whatever all over their face. You can see it throughout the entire crowd. There's a bunch of frowns and stuff. Their faces look like they're not amused with Furuta. and when you see what they say it out loud, like, hey now, screwing around like this, the hell is he thinking? Why is he doing that? His name's Furuta, right? Didn't he work, and was he partnered with, Kijima? Is he sane? They're just asking a bunch of questions like, what the hell? Is this supposedly our leader that's doing shit like this? He's just straight up coming onto the fucking stage acting like a jokester? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, should I take this man seriously in the first place? And I understand their point of view. I do. I mean, if your boss came up on stage and did something like that in a very serious moment, you wouldn't probably know how to react. You'd be thinking, like, what the hell is this shit? And even Kouri, he actually, you can see this man's very triggered. Like, this man really pissed off. He's like, Furuta, what the hell are you doing? And he's like, today is a day for party. And I'm like, what the fuck are you doing? This man wants to fucking party. And everybody is just like, why are you doing this? It's crazy. So, I really like the general reaction there, because that's a normal reaction. If you're in that situation, your boss did that, it makes sense. So, all of a sudden, we get to see behind Furuta what is going on, and you see a bunch of people pop up, which is later revealed to be the new QS squad, and we see that there's, once again, a checkerboard pattern underneath Furuta, which, references the cover of the page. It's a constant thing we see throughout Tokyo Ghoul with the symbolism, so I don't really need to dive into that, but we see the checkerboard pattern underneath him with the new kids popping up. Now, I instantly want to say that the designs of these two, like the two that actually get, their own different design compared to the others, because the others, if you go to the second page, you don't really get to make them out at all. You can't really see. You just see, like, kind of how their body shape is, but overall, you don't really get to see what their face looks like. The only two characters we get to see kind of displayed with these new characters introduced, with new QS, is these two on page 3, which, Furuta's like, here are the Ogai, or whatever, and apparently Ogai or something means death or whatever, so I don't know. If anyone could clarify the exact meaning of that, please do so in the comments below. Anyways, these two children that, have like their own, character design and stuff, it's like the only two characters that Ishida decided to display of this entire group. They look, oh my god, like, okay, maybe I've been playing too much Nier Automata, but these two characters look straight up like 2B and 9S. I'm not even joking. Look, the kid on the left, that straight up looks like 9S. If you know what I'm talking about, if you see me play the game, I've even uploaded clips, okay? I've uploaded clips on this channel of me playing Nier Automata, and I've also done a bunch of pictures and stuff on my Twitter, and so most likely you know what I'm talking about. And if you don't know what I'm talking about, just type up Nier Automata 9S and 2B, and you'll see for yourself, these two fucking characters look exactly like 9S and 2B, like the hairstyle, to even the fucking mask or visors they have on. It's just like, yo, Ishida, clearly you've been playing Nier Automata. I mean, we know Ishida likes games, we know this, it's very obvious with the way he does certain things throughout his series, also what he's done on Twitter, but I mean, it's clear as day that there had to either be some reference to Nier Automata with these two characters' design, or it's just a coincidence. Regardless, though, it instantly looks like 9S and 2B. I'm like, yo, they straight up look like that. And obviously, these new QS are, the actual clones or the children that were being experimented on that we saw in previous chapters when, Alma was getting freed and Sato and them were trying to save him. And we saw, a bunch of test tubes and all that type of shit. Well, obviously, that these new children that are popping up are probably connected to that top secret project, with CCG and V, and what Furuta's been doing with Rize, so I'm assuming that's what they're connected to. So, once again, it's kind of like, really, Ishida, like, as we know, Nier Automata, they have androids and shit, and this, I'm like, there's a lot of similarities there, like, there's definitely some similarities, but yeah, I want to drop that for now, but the designs, though, regardless of looking like 2B and 9S, I have to admit that when I first saw them, besides thinking of that, I'm like, the one on the left, besides looking like 9S, kind of looks like Kaneki. It does, seriously. Now, I don't know if the face is going to look exactly like Kaneki, but from the way the side of the face is drawn and all that, and the hair, it looks like, Kaneki with black hair. It does, but I could be wrong there, but that's what it looks like. And then you have, the other one, which looks oddly enough like Mutsuki in a way, which, it looks slightly like Mutsuki, but yeah, there's a little bit of differences, though, but, yeah, I just wanted to point that out when it came to the character design. So anyways, though, there is new QS that were introduced, and these new QS apparently are, like, new upgraded versions compared to what, Ure Squad and all of them are, so they're most likely they don't have a will of their own. Most likely they, follow orders and that's about it, which we know they have to be genetically engineered and shit because we know that V and stuff are working on a top secret project. We're very aware of this. This was revealed a couple of chapters ago. So obviously, since this is the next step or whatever, and Furuta's, introducing them, most likely they're just soldiers that will listen to him no matter what. So, yeah, apparently to demonstrate these new soldiers, Furuta decides to bring in some clowns. Now, you see Heisei Sasaki pop up. And at first, I'm like, yo, what the fuck? Like, I'm like, whoa. Like, at first, I thought it was like a clone or something. That's what I assumed. Like, I thought, Ishida was giving us a clone or whatever of, Heisei Sasaki. But I'm thinking, like, no. Most likely it's just a face change, obviously. That's probably what it is. And pretty much, there's a bunch of clowns lined up side by side. Everybody's just completely shocked. You have it to where, Urai's shocked, you have Saiko, you have, Mutsuki, you have Suzuya, Kouri, just a bunch of characters, like, a lot of characters are just straight up like, wait, what the fuck? Like, what's he doing here? And you see a bunch of others lined up on the side, they have their, clown mask on, and all of that, and you have it to where Furuta does, like, a public execution with this fake Heisei Sasaki. Now, I'll get into the reason for it in a second, but let's just talk about the general reaction of everybody when Heisei Sasaki's head starts rolling off his shoulders and he's dead. So, everybody's general reaction, let's see here. Urei looks away. He looks completely away, which he doesn't want to see this, which shows he doesn't want to see his superior die, because he knows that, Sasuke isn't connected, but he just doesn't want to see it. Kouri, he's seen firsthand how strong, Sasuke is, or Kaneki, and he knows that this man is insanely powerful. He knows Arima's insanely powerful, so for these new QS to capture him, he probably doubts it. Suzuya as well, his face is in utter shock, you see it, but it's still a face where you know for a fact he knows the truth. And then you have the others that are just looking forward, and they're not really trying to turn their head away. And then you have some of the QS, the original QS members, they're looking straight at it, or they're very sad or upset, like Saiko, she's crying. And then you have Aura and Mutsuki, which, oh my god, like, okay, so Aura's face, that man is evil. Like, the man is straight heinous. Like, look at Mutsuki. She's like, oh, okay, I already killed a Heisei Sasuke. It doesn't bug me anymore. And when you fucking see Aura, he's like, the man's head rolling. I'm like, are you fucking serious, Aura? Like, you straight up look so evil in this panel. And Mutsuki's like, I don't care. That's what she looks like. I don't give a shit. And Aura's like, I like this, even though it's probably fake. It's just, I like seeing this. And so, just the general reaction of all of them, they're in shock, obviously. And you can see to where some of them might think that that really is Heisei Sasaki, but obviously, if they've been around Heisei Sasaki, they know that there's just no way they could possibly be him. So, let's look at the facts here. Number one, this is a bunch of clowns. They have the clown uniform. Even the fake Heisei Sasaki has, the clown uniform on. Now, we know personally, firsthand, that this is thanks to, Uta that's probably causing this, how the face has changed. Either it's a clone or something, which I doubt now because of, how Uta just demonstrated his ability. So, it's probably face being altered, mimicking speech or whatever, which we know Furuta has connections to Uta and all that. So, with this, the death, or this fake death, obviously some of the members that know about, Heisei Sasaki, they know this can't possibly be him. He's way too powerful, and there's just no way he's connected to the clowns, because they saw his squad fighting firsthand against the clowns. If you were on the ground fighting, and you have been around, Kaneki, you know what type of person he is. He wouldn't get captured that easy. If he could defeat Arima, there is no way he would get captured that easy. But on top of that, he was someone that fought Eto, and also he is someone that, obviously, others can mimic. I mean, look, Suzuya saw firsthand what Uta is capable of. He saw Uta change his face into Shinohara, so he knows for a fact that's probably fake. Urei, he saw Donato do some fucked up shit. Like, that man got fucked up by a clone, so he knows very well, like, how, that can happen, how there can be fake bodies of others. And Kouri, he saw fucking Kaneki eating Eto, so when he saw Kaneki eating Eto's lower half, obviously, he knows how powerful fucking Kaneki can be. And then you have, the QS squad, they kind of know how he is as well. They know what type of person, Kaneki is, and that he's very powerful. And then you have, Mutsuki, which Mutsuki pretty much fucked a dead body, and then, kind of attacked a fake Heisei Sasuke. So obviously Mutsuki is very aware that that's fake. You could tell by the reaction. And then Aura, he's probably just snickering because he just sees, someone like Heisei Sasuke getting killed. Which shows just how evil this fucker is. Like, I mean, Aura is pretty evil. He obviously knows it's fake. But the man making that type of face, like that smirk, that grin on his face, it just demonstrates that he's just happy to see anyone, even if it's an innocent person, getting killed. Getting killed by them. And it's pretty fucked. Now, let's also, assess the situation here, okay, with these clowns being killed. Since some of these characters know firsthand that, a lot of the clowns are being forced against their will, and they were just regular humans, or the faces can be changed, which, Suzuya saw, Urei saw, Mutsuki saw, and all of that, and some of them saw too, Suzuya's squad. Obviously, they know this is fake, and most likely, since it's fake, they know that there's a possibility that these people that are dying here are probably regular humans, being just sentenced to death. And that's gonna really fuck with some of the characters, some of the smarter characters. They're not gonna know what to do. They're gonna be like, this is really a bad time to be a part of CCG, because there's some really bad and heinous shit going on. So, I just wanted to point it out, obviously, because of this interaction and all that, there's probably going to be some characters that are not going to want to be a part of CCG anymore, just from this alone. Oh yeah, I also want to point out too, when you see Furuta right behind the fake Heisei Sasuke, and you see the face sweat of, the fake, face or whatever, you can see the new QS behind each individual clown ready to execute them, and if you look very closely, you'll see smiles. They're actually smiling like a fucking devil. Like, they're really smiling. Like, smiling like how Furuta would do. And I'm like, yo, what the hell? Like, you can see it. Look, you actually see their smiles, and it's creepy. It's very, very, very creepy if you look closely. So, yeah, I mean, these children seem to relish in the fact that, of death or whatever, what was going on here, which shows that they're very similar to Furuta, so. Yeah. Anyways, though, once the execution is done, Furuta makes his big speech, which, you know what, I'm actually going to read, because it's a very good speech. So, Furuta's like, and those despicable clowns mix normal citizens within their ranks, using them as meat shields. Such a reprehensible and foolish plan. From this moment forth, the CCG will direct all its might into exterminating every last one of them. Our objective is complete cleansing of Tokyo. Complete annihilation of all ghouls. Please lend me your power. And then, chills. Straight, utter chills to this panel here. Like, oh my god. It's time to strike back. This page is so good. It just shows how much power Furuta has, and how everything is pretty much a game to him. Like, it is scary. Like, what this man just did, he was able to twist the will of all these CCG agents into what he wants them to do. It's just, this man is such a good master manipulator. It's insane. So, let's look at what his declaration is. He's like, complete annihilation of all ghouls. Now, that's pretty much what CCG has been doing. But it seems like he's going to be taking extra steps to accomplish that goal. So, I'm kind of curious what exactly he's going to be doing. Like, what's his plans to be able to wipe out all of the ghouls in Tokyo. So, yeah. But also, let's just talk about this face for a second, okay? This face is so scary. Furuta has, like, probably the best facial reactions in the entirety of Tokyo Ghoul. Like, every single week that passes, there's, like, a new face with Furuta that's just insane. I mean, one week this man can have a face that is straight up, like, a kind-hearted looking face, or a face that's just, like, a freaking troll. But then the next week, he has a face that just looks like he is a madman. Like, he is ready to just slaughter every single fucking person that stands in his way when you see this. And I'm like, yo, like, Ashita, the way you've designed Furuta's character is just so fucking genius. And I love his character. I love Furuta so fucking much. Just seeing this character and how he has so much fucking pizzazz with the way he carries himself. It's a great character. The way he can just carry a fucking chapter. It's insane. I really like Furuta's character. Even though he's the villain, I like his character. So, besides all of that, though, let's talk about what Kouri thinks, okay? So, once he makes this big-ass fucking announcement, like this declaration of war against all ghouls, and everybody's cheering and roaring, this is what Kouri thinks inside of his head. There were investigators that, as a result of having unfortunately killed regular humans and thereby losing their morale, became frail and therefore easily swayed by this strange power and ritual displayed before them. These poor souls were in no short supply among the ranks of CCG. The weak wished to surrender themselves to the strong, and as Bureau Chief Advisor, Kouri bore witness to this spectacle. He realized something. The CCG was done for. Pretty much what this means here, this entire line, is that it's what we all predicted in the first place. With the past, arc and all that. There's going to be a lot of changes now, thanks to Furuta leading, but also because of what Kaneki's been doing, but also what the clowns did, attacking humans and all of that. It's just going to make a big shift in the world and how Tokyo is run now by CCG and humankind. And when Kouri thinks about this in his head, like the CCG was done for, it lets us know that he's very aware of what just happened. He's very aware what Furuta just did. And now, what is going on is not good. He realizes what's going on. It's corrupt. CCG is dead now. It's no longer the same organization. It's got a new direction. It's got a new person leading the charge. And this person, obviously, is willing to use people to get what he wants. And he notices that. Because he has worked firsthand with Heisei Sasuke. He knows what type of person he is. Also, Suzuya, he has seen how Heisei Sasuke is. He knows how people could change their face. He's very aware of what is going on. And so, with this being said, it just pretty much confirms that a lot of these characters, our main characters, are probably going to end up leaving CCG. Because they're not going to stand for this. Public executions, just showing it to the entire world and all that, and you knowing you killed humanity and you were killing humans left and right and shit, and then using that to just allow people to, build up their morale and go in against the enemy and all that, it just is showing that Furuta set all this up. He wanted this to be set up, and, Kouri, he realized this. He realized what was going on now. So I fucking love this inner monologue of Kouri. And it's really showing that he's probably going to be a very important character very soon. Very fucking soon he's going to be very important just because of what just happened in this chapter. So, after that brief declaration, how Furuta was able to use them, manipulate them, cause them to work for him, and all that, after everything that happened, after, making them kill, humans and all the innocent people, he manipulated them to get what he wanted, to allow them to banner under him, and, just get in line and work underneath him. And this was all set up thanks to Furuta's planning, which is just freaking scary. It's pretty scary how well this worked out for him. So, there's only one bad thing about this, and that bad thing is that Furuta, he is obviously telling a lie. Kaneki's not dead. But there is a very good point that is stated in this next page, that the ghoul world, obviously, a lot of ghouls are uneducated. They don't really know how to read, or they haven't really been able to go to school or whatever. Naki is a perfect example of that. He's a very perfect example of how some ghouls are. And it's not that, they don't want to learn. It's just the fact that they were never given the option because they are ghouls. They're, there's a lot of, people that want them dead. Everybody wants them dead, thanks to what's, been happening throughout the entirety of Tokyo Ghoul. And obviously, they can't have a normal life like, regular humans can. And they obviously don't have the power to fight with media, because nobody's really going to back them. Number one, let's just say V doesn't even exist, okay? Let's just say that, the Illuminati V didn't exist or whatever, okay? It doesn't matter that everybody is against them. Like, everybody's against ghouls, they won't listen to them, so obviously, they can't wage war with information or, fucking news outlets or whatever, because they don't have none of that stuff. Everybody is against them. Anyone that's, in the middle of the public or whatever, they obviously are against the ghouls. They can't be, for the, the ghoul side, or they'll probably be, hushed up or whatever, or not many people will like them in the first place. So when you see something like this, I understand the viewpoint of Nishiki when he says, like, we can't wage war of information or whatever, because ghouls don't have the ability to do that. I mean, there's a lot of intelligent, ghouls and stuff, like, how, Nishiki, he's a very intelligent ghoul, but a lot of ghouls, though, they don't have education, they probably can't read, or, some of the ghouls, they just, they can't be a part of the media and say what they want, or their point of view of what's going on, so there's just no fighting chance against what V in the CCG is capable of. So, right now, it's a very one-sided thing. They can just completely just shut out what they have to do or what they want to accomplish by just using the media and stuff. And that's pretty much what Furuta is doing. He's manipulating everything because he realizes he has so much more power over the ghoul world, because even though Kaneki's a very powerful individual, he may have the entirety of the ghouls, rallied under his banner, he still can't fight a war of information and media. He can't, because it can easily be manipulated, and Furuta has that type of power to do just that. So, very good stuff going on here, just to show you all the accomplishments that were going on in last arc, what Kaneki was trying to do, how he was going in the middle of public, trying to stop the clowns to help out CCG agents. It was all pretty much for nothing. I mean, it set the seeds for some, people in CCG to realize that not all ghouls are bad, but overall, though, much of the public and the internet and all of that are going to still continue to view ghouls as bad fucking beings. And what's going on with CCG, they're the righteous group, and since they're now sharing information and all of that, obviously people are going to be way on board with CCG now. They're going to be like, holy shit, we are on board with what they're doing now, because they're actually revealing this information. They're letting us know as the, the public, like, what's really going on. And there's going to be a lot of, communication and faith between the public and CCG now. It's kind of like this, okay? Like, they're willing to be more inclined to believe CCG now in V, because they're telling the truth, or what they assume is the truth. Since they're being very public now, they're not trying to be secretive and hide facts or whatever. You're going to have it to where the public is going to be like, I like this new CCG. They're, being honest about things. They're being honest about what is going on in, the world now with how they're fighting ghouls. And they're going to respect CCG for that. And then obviously they're going to rally underneath, CCG and work with them. So it's going to make the ghoul world a lot harder than it already was, thanks to what Furuta is doing and how he's manipulating everyone. So, yeah, I love this. I fucking love how this was done. Now, besides all of that, let's just talk about what was said by the individual characters. I really love what Kuro says here, how she says Kaneki was dead as a doornail, and she's like, seems like our king is dead as a doornail. Like, that's funny as hell. Like, okay, I know not many people might like that or get a good laugh out of it, but that's pretty funny to me. Just seeing Kuro say, like, our king is dead as a doornail, and then you have it to where Naki's like, hey, his picture's in the paper, what's it say about him? And then execution, and then he's like, fake, and all that. Just like, it's funny. I just love the interactions here throughout this panel, and how they're just reacting to their king's death, even though he wasn't really dead. It was pretty funny. I got a good laugh out of it. So, carrying on to the next scene, we move over into the Sato and Kaneki convo. Now, this convo, there is a lot of meaning here. There is such a high amount of meaning in this convo between these two characters that it's insane. So, Kaneki's sitting here chilling by himself and all that on a roof, just looking about, just, being alone or whatever, just thinking, processing his thoughts or whatever. Sato comes up, he's like, King, is this a ghost I'm seeing here right now? And the reason why he's saying that, obviously, is because, Kaneki's supposedly dead. And Kaneki's like, Takisawa, Sato's like, don't worry about it. I'm marked as a dead person in the world, too. Pretty much say, hey, don't worry about it, my boy. Like, I'm pretty much dead as well. Everybody thinks I am dead, so you're not alone in that regard. But instead of Kaneki saying, like, thanks, that means a lot to me, he's like, I think of this as a opportunity. He's like, this is good. Like, this is very good. Sato's kind of curious, like, wait, what do you mean? And he's like, everyone now knows of my existence. Like, everyone knows in the public eye and all that Kaneki is a traitor. He left the CCG. He's leading the ghouls. He's the one-eyed king. Everybody knows about his existence. He's like, now is the perfect time to make a move. He's like, on top of that, Furuta is telling a huge lie. In this case, I definitely have the advantage here. The question is, how do I outwit him? So what he means by this is that the entirety of the world knows about Kaneki. They know about his existence. They know what he was, what he's trying to accomplish, how strong he is, and all that. Like, they don't know his 100% strength. They just know he's strong because he defeated Arma. And obviously now that media and it's all over the news and all that, apparently that he is dead, it's an opportunity for him to be able to move, mobilize, and do what he wants to do. Because now, nobody in public is looking for Kaneki, besides V and, Furuta and all that. So, when you think about it like this, Kaneki's able to do what he wants to do. He's able to move about and probably do something that, nobody's really expecting. And also, since, Furuta is telling such a huge lie, this allows Kaneki to be able to use this opportunity to try to make it look like, Furuta can't be trusted. Which, this is like a very dangerous card that Furuta is playing. Once again, let me emphasize what I said earlier. Furuta does have the media. Furuta has the media on his side. We know about this, and we do know that Furuta is able to manipulate information to the media. And even though he has all of this power, Kaneki knows this. He's very aware of this, but he's now trying to figure out how he can outwit him and use this against Furuta. How could he go against what Furuta wants and allow him to make Furuta look like he's a liar, like someone that can't be trusted, not a good leader, because of, how he is still alive. It'll call into question what type of role Furuta is playing. So Kaneki right now is taking a lot of time to think about what he needs to do. So anyways, once that's done, Sato's like, you're more optimistic about this whole thing than I thought you'd be. He's like, I thought you'd be pretty pissed off. I thought you'd be upset that, apparently everybody thinks you're dead and everything we were doing earlier in the last arc was pretty much pointless. So, I figured you'd be upset, but you're pretty damn optimistic. Kaneki's like, well, when you face near-death experiences nearly every day, the idea of your social death doesn't really phase you, which I find this fucking hilarious. It's pretty hilarious because it's so true. It's so fucking true. Kaneki has been through so much. He has practically died so many times, near-death experiences so many times, and then also his personality and his mind has died so many times that just like a social death, seriously, that doesn't phase this man in the least. Like, it literally wouldn't phase this man after all the shit he's been through. That literally is like nothing to him. Like, that is absolutely nothing, and I just find that hilarious how Kaneki says that. He's like, I've been through so much shit, it literally just doesn't phase me. Just like, seriously, I could really not give a fuck at all. So I just love Kaneki's reaction to the news. It's pretty priceless. So he's like, Takisawa, thank you for saving Almond. He's pretty much saying thank you and all that, and obviously the reason why he's probably thanking him is because of the Almond and Kaneki, convo. We know that Almond and Kaneki had a convo for probably a good long while. They probably got to, exchange information, explain to each other what was really going on, what life they were living, and most likely, there was some stories and stuff told about Takisawa and, his past or whatever. Most likely Almond told, Kaneki, and that's probably why he's offering thanks, like, thank you for saving Almond. It kind of makes sense when you think about it from that perspective. So Sato's like, it's not like I did it for your sake. Well, anyway, I've completed my job. Anything that you do or what Almond wants to do, none of that is related to me. From now on, I'm just gonna lug around this body of mine and live normally as a ghoul. Hey, I bet you don't really care about humans and ghouls coexisting together, do you? So, before I get into that, let's talk about what Sato's saying here. Pretty much what he's trying to admit here is that now that I've done what I need to do, I've, helped out Akira, she's fine, she's safe, Almond is not dead as fuck, none of them died. Almond and Akira didn't die at all that, he helped them both out. He realizes that his job is done. He no longer really needs to stick around. He doesn't have an attachment to the group anymore. He doesn't need to be around because he just doesn't really care. Like, the only thing he really cares about now is just him living a normal life, being what he is, just a ghoul and all that. He's accepted everything that he is and just continues to move on forward. That's kind of how he is. He doesn't need to have attachments to others or whatever. He cares about people, obviously, because clearly he went out of his way to help everybody, but he doesn't need to be near them anymore. He doesn't need to have those attachments constantly. He's like, now that I've fulfilled my, wishes of what I wanted to do, I could just move on now, because I have no more, connections. I have nobody, just keeping me chained down to the group anymore. So, now that I stated that, let's talk about what he says here. I bet you don't really care about humans and ghouls coexisting together, do you? And he's like, it feels like you have some different motive, am I right? And it's probably not too different from my own. That's the feeling I'm getting. So, I don't know how many noticed this or not. I posted this on Twitter, so if you follow me on Twitter, you probably already know. But, if for some chance you don't, I want you to look very closely on page 15 of Tokyo Ghoul chapter 118. Look at the bottom of the page. Kaneki is doing this. Now, I don't think I need to explain what that means, but on the off chance that you don't know what it means, every time Kaneki does this, it means he's lying about something. He's not saying the whole truth. Now, I don't really know what he's lying about. I'm going to be completely honest here. I've looked at this panel. I looked at it for 30 minutes, just trying to think about what it can mean, looking at the pages beforehand and all that. I don't really know what he is necessarily lying about, because he starts off like this. Like, he has this, his hand on his chin like this, but then soon as Sato's like, it feels like you have some different motive, am I right? And then he's like this. So I don't know if he's lying about what Sato said, or if he's lying about what, like, whatever's going on in his mind, because we don't know what Kaneki was thinking in that moment, because he doesn't really say anything. Normally, when Kaneki lies, he's like, I'm very happy. Like, he does this, like, I'm very happy right now, and we know he's lying. He's not happy. So, I don't know what he's lying about. I don't know if he's lying about the smile on his face, and he's actually unhappy. I don't know if he's, trying to, say, like, yes, my motive is, completely similar to yours, and it's not the same, like, what everybody thinks it is, or, like, I want to make coexistence. I mean, you don't really know what Kaneki is lying about. It's not explained, and which is kind of interesting in of itself, because we don't really know, but we do know that Kaneki's intentions are definitely different from what we think it is. It's not just about the coexistence of humans and ghouls, it's definitely something else. There's more to it than that, clearly, because of this habit of Kaneki's. There's something going on here, and most likely for Ishida to emphasize that with this bottom page, obviously, it's probably going to have some meaning later on down the road. Probably not maybe for another 30 to 40 fucking chapters. I mean, look, Ishida does that shit. Like, the man will do, like, a very subtle hint, and he probably won't go back to it maybe till, like, 50 chapters later. That's just how he is as a writer, so who knows? This is definitely something hinting towards the future, whatever objective Kaneki wants to do, because what, Sato's, like, saying, he's like, oh, your goal, it's not just about humans and ghouls coexisting, is it? You definitely have something different, a different motive or whatever, similar to mine, and then he does this, so we really don't know. So, I just wanted to point that out. Like I said, I don't know the meaning of it. I don't know what exactly he is lying about, but he's definitely lying. There's definitely a lie here. So, it's definitely going to come into play later on down the road. Anyways, next page, Kaneki, he grabs something in midair that's slung to him, which we found out later in the chapter that it is Almond's necklace. Now, I don't know how many realized that was actually Almond's necklace, but if you remember what, Almond's attached to, what he constantly had connecting him to his past or whatever to Donato, it was this necklace. This necklace was something that Donato asked Almond a long time ago, do you still wear that necklace? Do you still have it? And he's like, yeah, I still wear it and all that. I wear this every single day to remember everything that I've done and the sins I carry with me. That's why Almond wore the necklace all the time. And so when you see Sato throw this to Kaneki, Sato's like, here you go, give this to Almond and all that, and pretty much Kaneki's like, no, fuck you, you're giving this to Almond yourself. And the reason why Kaneki did this was not because he wanted to not do it. He did that because he knew what type of person Sato was. He knows that if he didn't, do that and sling it back to Sato, Sato would have wandered off and he would have died. He would have just died. Like, he would have been a ghoul, and he would eventually just succumb to death and died. And it would have just been a very pitiful existence. And Kaneki knows what type of outcome Sato would have in his life. And Kaneki knows from firsthand experience what type of life Sato is living or whatever, what he's going through. And so he's like, I don't want you dealing with that. I don't want you to, go off and just die a pathetic death. You need to find a way to continue on living. And he's like, I'm not taking it. You're going to have to deliver this back to him. Give it to him yourself. That's a very sweet message here. I just love that. And I love what he says, like, that if we don't tie you down with a chain, you'll go off and die. It's a very good message to Sato, which completely connects to the card, the Devil, because, as you know, I've talked about this a long time ago. Sato has the tarot card, the Devil. He has the Devil, and he used to have the upright meaning. The upright meaning to show that he was chained down and all that by fear and all that and things of his past. But now, with the new meaning of the Devil, he is the reverse Devil. He is the one now that is being, like, he's found a new state of peace. He is now on a new plateau. But at the same time, though, he needs bonds to be able to continue on moving forward. And he needs these chains to make sure he doesn't just go off and die. And it just shows that he is the reverse meaning of the Devil tarot card. And I'll have the link most likely in the description if you want to see it for yourself. But it's just a really good tie to Sato's character, which has popped up multiple times throughout the series. Ashida's constantly hinted that Sato is attached to this card, the Devil, and once again, with Kaneki saying this, it's very symbolic, and it just has a very good, message to, say when it comes to Sato's character, and how Kaneki's, finding reasons to keep Sato around, because if Sato didn't have a chain tying him down to the group, he would just go off and die. So he wants to make sure the man doesn't die, and he finds a reason to continue on moving forward and to live. I love that. I really love that. He's given a man, a reason to live, which is kind of similar to how knights are, or samurai. Think about it like this, okay? Sato is a knight. We know. I've talked about he's the knight that's serving the king. And when you look at it like this, when a knight loses his purpose, what reason does he have to live? Obviously, many knights might consider that they just don't have any reason to live. They need to die, or, they'll commit, suicide. That's kind of how some samurai or knights are. When they have no reason anymore, like their master or whatever is gone, or their goals or whatever is met, they just have no more reason anymore to do anything. And so, with Kaneki doing this, it's kind of like he's giving his knight a reason to continue living. He's giving him an objective, a goal to, stick around and not just go off and die. So once again, connection to Sato being a knight. Love that. Okay. Anyways, we move over into the final portion of the chapter, which is Akira and Almond. So Akira is showing that she actually does feel bad for, Heise. She's like, Heise, he sounded so pained when, he was talking to her. So obviously she does feel bad. She realizes and all that. But she's been resting still, and she hasn't really gotten up to do much at all. And she's, kind of freaking out because her cat has been it's been left for a month. And I fucking love how Almond comes into her room and all that. He's just carrying her fucking cat. He's like, oh, it's just carrying your fucking cat. And he's like, he stutters, he's like, long time no see. And I'm like, yo, it's so fucking hilarious. Like, Almond just carrying her little cat, and then the cat's like, yeah, and then fucking Akira's like, what the fuck? It's just a really cute fucking conclusion to this chapter. Just seeing Alma walk up and all that, and he's about to have a convo with Akira. I fucking love that. It's a really just cute way to end the chapter. And I don't know if Ashita Sensei is going to show the combo or not, because, I mean, look, the man fucking blue-balled us hard with the Almond and Kaneki combo. So, I don't know. I don't know if, Ashita will show us the combo between Akira and, Almond. But regardless, though, it's just very cute to see Almond walk up. He's carrying her cat and all that. Like, here you go. I know you're worried about her. And then fucking just the cat just, whines a little bit. And he's like, long time no see. Keep being you, Almond. You're a good man. So, that's about it when it comes to this chapter. Chapter 118 of Tokyo Ghoul Re. Let's see, how long was this review going on? Well, fuck me, it's 47 minutes. I said I wanted to be under 30, but I can never guess it right. Okay, anyway, so this was a fun chapter. A lot of good meaning here and there. and a lot of setup for the future. I'm just curious to see what direction some of our characters are going to go now, because, I mean, with the CCG pretty much being dead now, it's over. A lot of the characters most likely are going to, you know, leave the CCG. Also, because of the war with the media and all that, obviously Kaneki can't really have a fair fight, so I wonder how he's going to figure out how to fight Furuta when he has all the media on his side. Just a lot of questions I have, and I also hopefully Ishida doesn't blue ball us and we actually do get to see an Akira and Amon convo in next week's chapter. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and I love you all so much. Please be safe. Chibi out.